Hey guys, this is us back for another IPT2, and this week I'm going to be covering, at the request of a former student, client acquisition. So, one of the things that first comes to mind when I think of client acquisition is the hardship that a lot of people put on trying to get new clients. And obviously, for any business to be effective, it needs clients. So there's all sorts of strategies you can use to get clients, but it all comes down to really the kind of person that you are. Because as a personal trainer, you are the brand, you are the person in charge, you are the person who's going to do every single sale, unless you outsource that stuff, and then that will be costing you a pretty penny. So, for the people who, and that is the majority, do it themselves, there is loads of things that you can do to actually get clients. But the most obvious thing that everybody does and that doesn't actually work is go online. Now, the reason going online doesn't really work is because there's so many people online already. But for any effective marketing to work, for any strategy to work, for any campaign to work, you have to get the product in front of a person. And unfortunately, most of your clients are not online. And there's many reasons they're not online. It could be that your demographic just doesn't use online. So if you target older people, the silver surfers maybe, you'll get a few of them online, but most of them won't be using Instagram. Most of them won't be using TikTok. Mostly they will be using Facebook if they use it at all, or they might be using Google to answer questions. So that demographic, you're only going to meet in the place that they go to, and that is the gym. And again, like trying to get that product in front of people, most people's clientele are going to be in the gym. Now, if you're in the gym and you're a PT who's not online, that's great advice, obviously. Now, if you are online, the advice is you have to actually get a marketing campaign and properly utilize the tools. Unfortunately, organically, most people are not going to be aware of who you are as a personal trainer. Maybe your friends and family are. Maybe your friends and family will recommend you to people. And over the course of my last 10 years, referrals have been a great source of gaining clients again. So don't be afraid to ask friends and family to talk about you if anybody mentions fitness or if they need a personal trainer, or former clients. If you've had clients in the past, always ask them for referrals. There's this stigma around asking for a referral, and it doesn't have to be, oh, get me a client to buy this slot, and I'll give you a free session. That shouldn't be the approach, and I wouldn't use that approach, because yes, they are doing you a favor, but at the same time, you should be doing lots of favors for your client. You've probably went out the way many times to make sure that they are okay and doing well and progressing well. So don't think you always have to give away a free session asking for a referral. Instead, say something along the lines of, "Look, uh, I've had a slot open up in the evening. I know it's a busy slot, and I know you've got lots of friends who maybe work during the day and are looking for maybe a PT in the evening. So if you know anybody, could you mention and send over my details or give me their details so I can contact them and just see if they're the right fit for the program?" On the flip side, when you get down the line with a client, sometimes to keep it fresh and exciting, why not offer for them to bring a friend along to that session so they can see for themselves what kind of benefits they would get from doing personal training with you? And that gives you the opportunity to show how your sessions are fun or intelligent or whatever your sessions are, whatever way you market yourself. But it gives you an opportunity to then be in front of the client and showcase the product. Now, that's essentially a session that your client's paying for, but they get to bring a friend along free of charge because, do you know what? That could be the introduction that allows you to then book that friend into a full package. So don't be afraid of those referrals. They are amazing. I would always go out my way to make sure your clients are giving you feedback, and not just stuff that they put on their Instagram or Facebook, not just pictures they put up, but official feedback that tell everybody about your product, but in their point of view. Because people buy into people. And if they've got an official kind of looking feedback or something that they put up, it could be a Google review, it could be, I don't know, it could be something that they do on video. That's even better if they can talk about it on video, because video always stands out a little bit better. When you see the person actually speaking about the sessions that they've had and the results they've had, that's more powerful than even seeing a comparison picture these days, because you're actually hearing it from a real person and it's not just a picture. Because comparison pictures, believe it or not, most big companies will just take stock pictures from the internet nowadays. Like, it's easy to find comparison photos. So don't worry about getting comparison photos, because not all your clients will want to give you comparison photos. And again, it could be a private journey, but they might want to advocate you for the job you've done. And it takes less than 5 minutes. So do it with them. Even give them a little script if you need to. If they don't know what to say, give them a little script, write it for them, say anything along the lines of this script, and get them to record themselves. And if they don't want to record themselves, then obviously get them just to type it out. Again, a Google review. If you have a business page on Google, that's a good way to stand out. Again, we'll not talk about too much about the online stuff at the moment. We'll try to keep it more grounded and realistic to what you need to do for your client acquisition in the gym. So that's stuff that you can put online, but obviously you have the also those referrals there as well that are in person. Now, one of the biggest things I always try to drum into people when they're trying to get clients is that you need to be there when your client's going to be there. Again, it's getting the product in front of the person. And it makes sense when you think of it that way. So if you want a 6 a.m. client, you better be in the gym at 6 a.m. every day. And that includes weekends until you build your business. Because then when you've built your business, you can obviously stop a little bit of the days that you go in or dictate when you want people to be there. But the best thing to do is and again, this is for people who are seasoned PTs and people who are not seasoned PTs, build your own timetable. Whatever times you want clients, you should be on the gym floor. And when you're not needing a client and you should be doing something else, like working on the business or working in the business or training yourself, then go and do those things. Because more than likely, if you pick up a client on a time when you would normally train, you're going to take that client and that's going to mess up your whole day, and then you're going to regret doing that, and it's going to be a crap session that you don't look forward to. Instead, leave that to somebody else who wants to train somebody at that time. For you, you should build a timetable of when you want to be in the gym and then be on the gym floor doing things that get you in front of people so that you can actually build the rapport and then get the sales eventually. Now, that's the first thing you should do. So if you want a midday client, if you want an evening client, if you want a morning client, you need to be there at the times your client's going to be there, because that's when you'll meet the people who frequent the gym at those times. And it's an easy thing to say, but in practice, that is how you're going to get clients. Now, what other things can you do to get those clients? Well, simply get yourself at the front door and say hi to everybody. It sounds stupid, but there's going to be a lot of people who are coming into the gym for the first time, especially in September, and especially then at peak periods of the year when we do have those peak periods. Those people coming in for the first time may need help and support. And if you're the first person there, you can also explain that you have personal training available should they need it. And then those people who struggle, you follow up with them. You keep talking to them. You keep giving them advice. Even if they don't take your advice, guess what? Further down the line, they may want to do personal training with you because you gave good service. We have this mind frame as personal trainers that if you talk to somebody and they dismiss you, that's the end of the sale conversation. And it's not. Not every conversation should be a sale. In fact, most conversations should be about them, finding out about them, finding out their goals, finding out why they come to the gym, finding out what their passions are when it comes to fitness, helping them find their passions if they need to. You know, if somebody comes to the gym, and this is the case with a lot of people who come to the gym for the first time, if they don't find something they like doing, because they go for the treadmill straight away, most people, first time. If they don't like the treadmill, they're not going to stay and they're going to cancel their memberships. So instead, offer a basic program, like complimentary. You don't need to teach them anything. Maybe create a quick video library they can go to. Or that's how you get them to follow you on Instagram if you need those followers to then showcase your product. It's giving something away so you can get the details you need to then follow up with them. That's how marketing works. It's called creating a funnel. And the more people you speak to, the more they go into the funnel, and then eventually a client pops out at the other end. Now, this is a numbers game, and it really is, but if you've got 5,000, 6,000 members in your gym, even 1,000 members in your gym, you can have a lot of clients out of that. You need to be doing things that just place you in front of them, and that's down to yourself coming up with ideas. I could go through tons of ideas that we talk about on the business course, but if you're not comfortable doing them, then it's not going to work. You need to pick things that are going to showcase you, showcase your experience, showcase your passions, so you want to speak to people about it. Again, one of the biggest things with personal trainers is they don't want to get in front of the clients that are out there. They don't want to put themselves out there. They don't want to showcase their personality. They find it hard talking to people. Now, there is strategies for that. Again, if you don't want to say hi to everybody coming into the gym, you're like, why would I do that? Or say bye to everybody as they leave. Then the next thing to do is create a survey. Because you can make up the questions. Don't make it a long survey, but then at the end of the survey, give them a gift card. Give them a gift card.
Where they were going to be.
So, sorry for the little break there. There was a little bit of noise coming from a device there. So, what I was saying is create your own survey, and with those questions that you have, make them very basic, make them simple, and get the information you need from people. Then give them a gift. Now, it could be that complimentary workout. But the problem is you might come across a lot of people who have been in the gym a long time, so that might not be the gift to give. But maybe it could be you get the choice of a gift, because then you're giving the person a choice. So if you like boxing or kettlebells or some of your skills that you can then show off to the client, and they might not use those products or they might be using them incorrectly. So power plate, TRX, you can showcase how you can make those exercises harder for the person or easier for the person to ensure that they get the level they need out of it. But you also showcase your skills and do it in a 20-minute session, complimentary 20-minute session based on any of your choices. Can you imagine if you did 20 minutes of boxing with somebody and you blow them out the water? Because you can do that with boxing very easily. Is that person going to want to train with you? Probably. If you do 20 minutes of power plate training for maybe somebody who's interested in using it or somebody who's into sports, are they going to feel the benefit of that? Of course they are. Even simple things like introducing people to how to do HIIT training properly, or or even giving them a talk on nutrition. Or maybe you take 15 minutes out, and this was always one of my favourites to do. Take 15 minutes out, 20 minutes out, and go to the shops with them. Help them with their shopping. Would that not be useful to somebody who is really, they do everything in the gym correctly, but their nutrition is the part they struggle with? You have to come up with the solutions that your demographics need and then offer them a kind of menu, but don't make it too overpowering. 3 things max, 4 things if you need to, because we all get choice fatigue where we just don't know what to pick. So give them a couple of choices, and then if they want to pick something else themselves or they're really interested in something, then again, say, cool, that's no problem, we can do that. Now, that's just one strategy, but that gets you talking to people. And will people do a 4-question survey? Yeah, hell yeah, they will. Especially if they're coming in and they've got the time at the beginning of their session. You're not grabbing them in the middle of a session or anything like that. So be wary that these tactics, and they are tactics and strategies, they will get you clients, because once you've got the product in front of the person and it's showcased properly, they're going to want it. Now, they might not purchase then and there, so don't feel down if somebody's like, oh, do you know what, I really want to do PT, but I just can't do it. Remember, there is a cost of living crisis, so come up with solutions. Can you do a half-hour session? Cut the price down. Is that going to work out okay for you? Yeah, because you get somebody in on the next half hour. And maybe they've got a friend, like I said, that referral again. Do you have somebody else who maybe want to do the next half hour? Or maybe you want to work together with you and your friend and you can do the full hour together. And then you charge a little bit more but still less than a full session for each person. So if it's £25 a session, that's your basic rate, then that might be, I don't know, £15 per person. And that way it's £30 for the hour. You're training 2 people who've got the same goals. You don't need to put in the extra work, but you can still help them achieve the goals and you earn an extra £5. So again, think about that. Think about the people, because you are trying to help people. You're not trying to get money out of them. We're not treating them like the next paycheck we're going to get. And there's a lot of things you need to make sure are going right in the background. Like, is your money management good? So you can then acquire things that can help you. One of the first things I acquired when I was a personal trainer was a pop-up banner. There wasn't many personal trainers who had a pop-up banner. The gym had pop-up banners, but nobody PT-wise had one. So I bought my own. And it cost me a good bit of money back then. I'm sure you could get them cheaper now, but back then it cost me the price of a personal training package almost. So I got it done, And lo and behold, it got me a good amount of attention and a lot of clients because they saw a couple of transformation pictures, but I was there with the banner. I never left it out. So if I was trying to recruit people coming into the gym, I would be standing welcoming them and I'd have my banner. So right away, I'm the first thing they're going to notice. They're not going to notice like they're coming into the gym and they need to go here or there or the signage or whatever else. They're going to notice me because if they ignored me as a person, they're going to see the big banner. It's going to catch their eye, and they're going to eventually catch my eye, and then it's a case of, hi, how you doing? What are you into do today? Cool, enjoy yourself. If you need any help, come back and grab me. And don't make it any harder than that. That's the first contact point of a sales journey. And I use the word sales because client acquisition is you trying to sell yourself. But I hate sales, and I think anybody who loves sales is probably not going to be a good personal trainer in my eyes. I've seen people who were like ex-car salesmen come into the PT world and force people to buy personal training sessions, and then eventually all those people left after the first block because they didn't like the person. There's no rapport there, there's no banter, there's no uh, believability in that person so that they can actually achieve. And one of the greatest things I ever got told was people will not care about you and your services until they know you care about them. We teach all this stuff on the business course, and we teach it on the actual course as well. There's a whole section that we talk about client acquisition, and we added that into our course because we knew that was a big factor that doesn't get taught in the workbooks, doesn't get taught in the manuals, doesn't get talked about enough. Everybody wants to keep the secrets to themselves, and they're not secrets. It's just strategies. And again, you find the strategies that work for you. So whenever I had in a kind of managerial role, when I used to be a manager, whenever I had a sit down chat with my personal trainers and I asked them what they wanted, 9 times out of 10 they wanted more clients. And 9 times out of 10, I would give them these solutions and strategies and ask them to go away and think about what really suited them. And 9 out of 10 of them would do nothing. But that one person who did something always got more clients because you don't see personal trainers doing the things they should do, like hanging about the first door to introduce themselves, or going to events, or wanting to take part on things. Another really good client acquisition strategy is getting yourself in front of the group classes. Make sure that you are teaching classes if you can in your environment, and if you can't, maybe somebody else comes in to do that. Then why not attend the classes, but talk to the instructor and say, look, I would like to speak to the class at the end if I could, or could I be on the stage as well and give you some support because I'm learning about being a group instructor. And then after the class, speak to everybody. Get them to tick off a register. Offer them something to do with personal training. Offer them a discount off your services. Don't make your services free. Don't give away things for free. And try not to use the word free, because when people hear the word free, they devalue the thing. I always come back to the glass of champagne. If I said, here's a free glass of champagne, or here's a complimentary glass of champagne, then people always pick up and they give more perceived value to the complimentary champagne. So your words matter. And don't think that they don't. They will. And even if you think you're giving words of advice to people and you're giving away too much, you can never give away too much. If anything, if you've been through your personal training course, you'll understand that people don't understand fitness. They think they understand fitness, but they don't, because they don't understand the foundations of it and how things change and all the actual science behind it. They just think they go into the gym and they do these workouts and they know about fitness. That's not fitness. That's not knowledge. That is just somebody who goes in and they are aimless because they probably don't even know how to strategize and make up their own programming for the things that are going to be effective for them, because it's very hard to do that internally. You need some external sources to help. And that's why coaching is such a big thing, because the best people in the world at their sports all have coaches who build stuff for that person. That person might be capable of helping themselves, but they're not going to be able to optimize it because they are coming from a personal and emotional standpoint. And you should really be coming from a non-emotional place, a non-individual standpoint. You need to know the things that work and then apply them to that person. So there's a lot to unpack there with client acquisition, and honestly, with this kind of thing, I could go on forever. But what I'd rather say is, if you feel you need support with client acquisition, the best thing to do is do a SWOT analysis. Look at your strengths and apply them to the situation. Look at your weaknesses and try not to showcase them as much as possible or remove them from the situation. Again, probably going to be gym based. So if you're weak at speaking to people, get yourself a survey, get yourself a poll, get yourself a script that you can have in your head that you can speak to people and you can recite, because you'll get confident with that kind of thing. Look for opportunities. So again, I said things like group exercise. Have a look at when the PTs are not in the gym. When do the PTs not come to the gym? There's your opportunity to be there and actually take up clients. And then also look at the things that are threats. And the threats could be, it's obviously going to be more other PTs, but other PTs who are doing specifically the very same thing you are or have the same way of training as you, because there will be some out there. Or maybe that there's a new gym opening up, or God help that COVID doesn't come back. But these are all threats, so make sure you're aware of them, but come up with solutions for them. So if you've got a PT who does the same thing as you need to be able to showcase why you're the person that people want to train with. And it could be that you're just a fun person and people are more attracted to your personality, and you need to showcase that. Now, how you do that, again, that's something you need to look at your strengths with. Are you good at speaking on video? Maybe do some videos that you can leave on a flyer for somebody to pick up or give to a person and say, look, I'd like you to like give me a review or feedback on my video. A lot of the time when you ask people for favours, they will want to help you. That's a likability thing. Most people will do you a favour if you ask them. So say, look guys, could you go and rate my video? I'm just starting out on videos or on YouTube or on Vimeo or whatever you're using. Get them to go and see your video, but speak about yourself and why you're a good trainer. And people will help. And they might not all become personal training clients, and not straight away, but, and this is the big thing to remember, it usually takes 12 touch points for somebody to consider actually purchasing from you. So bear with it, go the course, make sure that you're doing the right things. And if you need more help, if you need more support, then ask for it. This personal training journey that people do, and they go out and they become personal trainers, there's very few people who go back to their tutor. Maybe they didn't like their tutor, but your tutor's probably going to give you help and support in that area. What if it's not your tutor? Well, your gym manager, or the manager who's above you, or the people who are above you. If you ask them for support and strategies and how to do your client acquisition, boy, they're going to give you help. Are you going to like all their help? No. Are you going to be able to cherry pick what works for you? Yes, because you've done a SWOT analysis. You've understood your strengths. You've understood your weaknesses. Well, do you know what? Speaking about those kind of things to people, that doesn't work. And the last client acquisition I'm going to leave you with, the last strategy, is something that a lot of personal trainers find really hard to do. And that is speak to somebody who's working out. Now, I always flip back here to my original days as a personal trainer. I worked with a company who took me across to a different city to give me their version of business training. And part of that business training was throwing you into a gym and telling you to speak to individuals in the gym. Now, there was like 30 personal trainers on this course and maybe 20 people in the gym. So the people were getting very irritated very quickly when we all had to keep speaking to them over and over again. But the one person that everybody avoided speaking, and for good cause, was the person on the treadmill. Now, I highlight the person on the treadmill because this is going to lead into how you speak to other people. So, I get sent to this person on the treadmill and they're running, they've got their headphones on, and I got their attention, I managed to get their attention, and I was greeted with foul language. As you can imagine, it was fine. I just took it on the chin because, do you know what? If I was that person, I would not have wanted to actually have been getting disturbed either. So the foul language was fair. It could have been nicer, but that's how the cookie crumbled there. Now, that was bad education. That's simply what it was bad education, because that's not how you handle that person. Now, people who are on the treadmills and the cardio devices in the gym, you'll see a lot of people, they like to go into the corners, and you can spot and identify people very quickly. This is a good part of client acquisition, by the way, if you can spot people in the gym who need help. Most of the people on the cardio equipment will need some sort of help and support. I'd probably say nowadays it's 50-50, but back in the day it used to be a lot worse. But people on cardio equipment, and especially the ones who try to go into corners and get away from people, you can see that they want help and support, but they're maybe just not confident to ask for it. So instead, when you see that person come off of the treadmill or off of the CV device and they start making their way towards you, or the door, or the exit, say to them this instead. Say to them that you saw them doing their workout and you just wanted to say that it was amazing that they put that effort in, and you don't even know if you could put in that type of effort. But if they ever need some help and support, come and speak to us, because I would love to help and support you on your journey or whatever it is you're doing. And even if it's just a chat, we can have a complimentary consultation about it. Now, doesn't that seem a good way to approach the situation? Let them finish, let them get their breath back, then compliment them on what they were doing. Don't say, oh, I saw you hiding in the corner. I saw you not doing this correctly. Actually compliment them on their effort, because maybe it took a lot for them to come to the gym that day. Maybe it took a lot for them to put on the outfit that they had on because they don't feel comfortable in themselves. So try to actually respect your clients and then build rapport from that compliments that you're giving them. Now, how does that equate to somebody on the gym floor? Well, commonly we see exercises done incorrectly a lot, and this is the very last part I'm going to speak about because we're now 35 minutes in. The actual things that people do wrong, we don't go up and say, you're doing this wrong. that's just suicide when it comes to your career. Because people are just going to know you as the guy or girl who goes around and corrects people all the time. But what if I came over and said, look, I saw you doing that. That's amazing. How does that feel? I've got this other way of doing it. Would you like to try it? I feel it really helps you. And I think I could get you a couple of extra pounds on the weight if I got you doing it this way. That's an easier way to approach it. Compliment them. Tell them they were doing it not incorrectly, but in a manner that it's different to what you're doing. Now, different doesn't mean bad, because in the fitness world, there's all sorts of different ways of doing things. And again, I teach an open mind with my students. Keep an open mind, because if somebody's doing something and it doesn't seem normal to you, they might have a good reason for doing it that way. That reason could be they were taught incorrectly, or it could be that they are trying something new because it feels better to them in the way that their body mechanics work. So don't always belittle people for doing something that's different from what you think is correct. Correct is a very variable term when it comes to fitness. I go back to exercises like a Jefferson curl, where it looks like a deadlift with a flex spine, but it's actually to help improve flexibility in the spine, and it shouldn't be done with heavy weights. It should be done with a lighter weight. But people would see you doing it and think, well, that's a crap deadlift. But it's actually a Jefferson curl, so it's a completely different exercise. So go with that open mind, speak to the person, tell them they were doing it in a way that you thought was great, but you've got this other magical way of doing it, and show them your product. So we go right back to the whole thing that we talked about at the start of client acquisition today. You're getting the product in front of the person. That's a good way to circle back, isn't it? Because you've got that product back in front of the person. You can help. And believe me, when you help and support people and you show them you care, you're going to have a winning formula there for actually being a successful personal trainer. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I can't wait to the next one. Remember, if you have any sort of fitness, well-being, health thing that you want to get me to speak about, or even if you want to jump on and have a talk about it live, we can do that for the podcast as well. But for today, I'm going to sign off, and I hope you have a good one till the next time. Remember to subscribe and follow up with all the other podcasts we have here, and get involved in all the other things we're doing, including all those webinars. We've got one on nutrition coming up. So remember and grab yourself a place on that. Till next time, take care, and I will speak to you soon. IPT out.